So, package arrived in this flimsy envelope with no extra padding whatsoever. Both packages were stacked on top of each other inside of this flimsy envelope. And since it came all the way from the lovely country of China to my doorstep here in Chicago, it arrived totally beaten up. Both boxes. They just looked like somebody did the river dance all over them. Anyway, after pulling out both GPUs, they seemed to be okay. One of them had bent PCI bracket, and I was able to somewhat make it workable, and I was able to mount it, and that's the one that's in this computer right now, because that's the one that seemed a little more damaged. This arrived with its own video graphics drivers, and unfortunately they're all outdated. They are a CD per each, and when you install them, and I'm using Linux Mint, when you install them, they well, they don't recognize. And as you can see, these boxes are pretty beat up. Like I said, it's all over from the bottom to the sides, and one's more worse than the other, and that's the one where the bent bracket came in. So, moving along here, as I turn this on, I've already installed it and uploaded Linux Mint, and basically it's supposed to show up with its own open source drivers, the Nouveau drivers, which it did, and I was able to see at a decent resolution at 2K. And it prompts you immediately to request the new drivers. And the new drivers from NVIDIA are highly recommended opposed to the open source ones, especially if you're going to use it for gaming. After downloading the correct drivers, the recommended ones from NVIDIA, and restarting, immediately you can tell that the logo is bigger, the resolution is lower, and when it starts up, you can see here that it is very low resolution after installing the proprietary NVIDIA drivers. And that is what's causing my problem. It should work correctly, but it is not. And that is not the way these things are supposed to go. This is the GTX 1050 Ti 4GB DDR5. That's the GeForce GTX 1050 Ti 4GB GDDR5. The old drivers themselves, they won't upload for me. I try to go on NVIDIA website, and they fall just below the recommended of what the merchant is telling me that I should use. They're telling me I should use the drivers that came in the CD, the 3.88 or whatever it is, but that's just way too low. And here you see that the lowest resolution is the only option you get. You can't even get a better resolution other than what you see here. And behind it, because the resolution's so low, I don't have room to put both windows or both screens up for everyone to see here. But basically, and behind it, you can see that the NVIDIA recommended driver is what is installed. I'm going to go ahead and reinstall the old Nouveau open source drivers. So as the Nouveau drivers download, we're going to have to restart this and we'll come back. And while we wait for that to happen, you'll see here that I am working the NVIDIA GTX 1050 Ti inside this case from Roswell. Well, as you see here, that now that the NVIDIA recommended proprietary drivers have been uninstalled and the new Nouveau open source drivers reinstalled, that it is working at a 2K resolution. It won't go all the way up to 4K like it says it can, but it because it doesn't have the NVIDIA drivers. But on this particular one, the NVIDIA drivers are not working. I have to use the Linux Mint open source drivers to get it to 2K resolution because the NVIDIA ones have it at such a low resolution that it's unusable for any sort of gaming. So right now I'm in contact with the merchant to see if they have any sort of resolution for this, but I cannot find one. And if anybody knows, please let me know. Send me any sort of links, that'd be helpful, videos, whatever. Anyhow, I wanted to show a different one here. This is another Chinese merchant who I bought this from. It's at 250, and right now I think it's around 300 on Newegg, but I got it around 250, and it's performing the way it says it's supposed to. The other difference that I see between these two, they're both GTX 1050 Ti's. And the difference that I see between the both of them is that one has a VGA and the one that is working correctly with full 4K resolution does not have a VGA. So I'm not sure if that's a telltale signal that the video card isn't what it says it is. But as of now, this one is working fine. The one that I got from this GVHP or GVPHOSO or whatever. There's no reviews on it, but I think I might do one later. Telltale sign here is when you're looking for a GTX 1050 Ti, please make sure it doesn't have a VGA connection on it. Like the ones that seem to work fine are the ones that don't have one on it. It has a HDMI, has a display port and a DVI connection, and that's it.